Okay, so I recently started watching this Netflix series that my friends were saying is really, really great and you should totally watch it. Generally, I don't like watching TV shows because I like real stuff. I am 100% hardcore, a huge true crime geek. I love anything with criminal justice. I love watching police body cam footage. I love watching courtroom hearings. I think I maybe missed my calling. It's just a really big interest of mine. But then there comes the question as to why. Why am I so FNAF? Five Nights at Freddy's. Why am I so fascinated by true crime? I am fascinated by true crime because it's like a puzzle piece that you can pick at to figure it out. And the big question is why? Why do these people do these kind of behaviors? What's their motivation for doing it? Why do they have to do it? A lot of times it's money. A lot of times it's sex, power, jealousy. But it's something that criminal psychology, like I love JCS, I love Bose versus the World. She's my girl, man. I love watching her stuff. So I prefer true crime and real stuff. But this Netflix series is called Baby Reindeer, and it's based off of real stuff. So it's kind of true crimey. But nobody died, so that's kind of good. But then again, in the Dalia DiPolito case, nobody died either, and there was some true crime there too. And then I started watching the show. And then stuff started coming out about the characters in the show. I'm not going to do any spoilers here. I really think that it's a great Netflix series. You should probably check it out on your own. But it's really fascinating to me because the story is about this dude in Britain who ended up with this lady stalking him. And you know, she gives like serious Annie Wilkes from like Misery vibes. And it turned out that she was a real person. Now, that normally wouldn't really be interesting to me. But then Piers Morgan, who is sometimes a douche, sometimes he's cool. I don't know how I feel about him. But he did an interview with her. And with the actual woman who was the stalker. And I was just I was riveted. I was just like, what? And at first, she looks, clean and not like a mess like you'd imagine. She looks like a normal person and she's just talking about stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe she didn't do it. Maybe she didn't have anything to do with this stalking thing. And this guy is just making up a crazy story for Netflix. But then she started saying some things that contradicted themselves over and over and over in the interview. And at that moment, I was hooked. See, I saw the Piers Morgan interview before I even wanted to look at the series because I think it was true crimey and I think the YouTube algorithm suggested it to me. And then I had a couple of friends and family members who were all hooked on it. And I'm like, oh, another Netflix series, whatever. But seeing this woman talk gave me the vibe of like all those interrogation videos that I watch and all of those criminal justice things. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what Jodi Arias would have probably sounded like if she was in this situation instead of her situation. Now, Jodi Arias was a very, very beautiful woman. So she stalked her victim and was able to seduce him and make him fall in love with her. And then she abused him. He tried to get away from her. So she stabbed him in the shower. And I've watched hours and hours of these interrogation videos trying to figure out why. Why would you do this? Just break up. If a guy rejects you, move on to the next one. Like, okay. And the bottom line is this. This is just my philosophy. A girl generally, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but a girl shouldn't be chasing a guy. Guys chase girls. The only time a girl should chase a guy is if she's genuinely interested in him. But the minute she gets a no, have some pride. Just don't. Just walk away. Don't be this desperate lady clinging to this guy. But listening to this woman talk, I was convinced that if it wasn't for this Netflix series, this very well could have been a true crime series. This dude, Richard or Donnie or whatever his name is, could have ended up like Travis Alexander. Let's say he did date her. And then she did something that was too controlling, because these type of criminal minds, you know, it's not just a matter of, okay, you know, she's madly in love with him, she wants to be with him. No, it goes beyond that. There's an element of control. So let's say she actually does get to date him, then she's going to get jealous. Then she's going to get controlling. She's going to want to tell him what to eat, what to think, how to breathe, start to pick him apart, start to get That scared me. There's a frog outside. Welcome to Florida. And then, of course, because I'm from Florida, this is the true crime capital of America. So there's a lot, like, I live in driving distance of the Adelson case. Wendy Adelson in Boca and all of that. I went to the bar where Courtney Clenny and her father got booed out. I went to a wedding reception at the bar that Casey Anthony likes to hang out. I live in this world where true crime happens, you know, and I'm fascinated by it. And this chick, what's her name? Fiona Mere Anthony? No. Getting my name wrong. No, Fiona Mere Harvey. She's giving me all the same energies and all the evidence, just like these true crime cases. And it's totally making me geek out, because I'm like, at first I didn't believe him because it's a stupid Netflix. I hate Netflix series. But then when I saw her interview, I think she's lying. I think she stalked him. I think she's a scary person. And I think if it progressed, she could have killed him, because that's what stalkers do. I'm watching you, Fiona. No, I'm not. I'm probably going to be losing interest in this in like a couple days when the next big thing pops up. But yeah, basically that's my explanation as to why. So somebody in the YouTube commentary said, well, why did you pick a side? Because I always side with the evidence. I always side with the evidence. And the evidence all points in the direction that this Richard guy is telling the truth. I think he tried to mask it a little, because he seems a little, what the Taino used to say is guaticaco, which is little shifty eyes. Like, he looks like a dog that's been kicked around too many times and is now hiding in a corner. But yeah, just fascinated, man. Just fascinated by the true crime potential aspect of it, because I think this is a criminal mind in the making. And now she thinks she can sue Netflix, which is hilarious, because if you can't... Honey, if you can't buy yourself a cup of tea at a pub, chances are you can't afford to sue a giant corporation like Netflix. I mean, they're a $1 million company, millions of dollars, with a legal department, and they know what the fuck they're doing. And then on top of it, this is a lawsuit that would happen across the seas, which is always, I mean, look at the Johnny Depp case. Here's a multimillionaire dude who's probably one of the most popular actors everywhere, and he couldn't win his case against the Sun for shit. What is this Fiona lady thinking? This is a fool's errand. And I think she's bluffing, because she has a tendency to lie a lot. Just look at that Piers Morgan interview, man. This girl can't get her story straight. One minute she hates him, the next minute they were friends, the next minute she never even knew him. She's just all over the place, man. That fascinates me because Jodi Arias did that in all of her interrogations.